and welcome to the Soul Center OC's meditation service. Happy full moon to you. Happy spring. Happy this moment of now. This is the time that we have specifically set aside each and every day to come together in spiritual communion through meditation, through lowly listening, through the stillness that leads to prayer. Prayer being intimate communion with the presence of pure spirit. Meditation being the way. Narrow is the gate, straight is the way is through the heart. As we begin, or get ready to begin, to rub your hands together if you're sitting down or laying down or whatever you're doing. Open up the meridians of this wonderful body temple. Open the body up because this is our living temple in which we worship the Spirit and in truth. So we warm that body up. If you can stand up and shake it loose. I'm not going to stand. And after you've done that, return to your seat or your cushion. As we start our meditation, I invite the veterans and those that are beginners to begin this meditation as though it is the first time you've ever meditated. To honor the seat you're sitting upon, to honor the tradition of meditation, the tradition of going within and communing with the Spirit without any intermediary, simply going straight with love and devotion to the heart of God itself. So I invite you to allow your body's eyes to close. And let's take 3 full breaths without efforting, just opening our lungs and receiving the divine breath. Allowing each and every breath to be the living affirmation of the one life that it is. As we receive the breath, we have the awareness that we are not breathing, we are being breathed by the Spirit, inspiriting us and inspiring us with the breath. We turn within, acknowledge the presence, acknowledge the breath that is our guide and our anchor, and we give thanks in advance for all that we are to receive as we move into the silence of the heart. You may hear me breathe like this as a gentle reminder to bring your awareness back to the breath if you find that you've wandered off. Or I may ask you where your attention is. For we know that where our attention is where our energy goes, and that is what grows. So we want to maintain our focus and our awareness with the breath, without effort, without strain, simply being aware, allowing Spirit to guide us within. Giving thanks now in advance, we move into the silence of our heart, in communion, in meditation. Let it be so. And so it is. is your attention. Allow your eye to be single, and thy body shall be full of light. invite you now to take a soft breath. As we bring our collective awareness back to the particular space we are in, back to the body temple. And I invite you to place your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your right. And as we breathe and remember, remember that right here and right now, God is in its fullness, in its wholeness, in its richness, in all of its power, the sweet presence, the loving activity, all within our own heart and soul. It is from this place that I give thanks for all that we have received in our communion, in our meditation. And I speak the word for all of us gathered in meditation, thankful that we all have turned to the same place and allow that to fall freshly upon us. This morning we are renewed and restored, uplifted and inspired, simply by turning to the source of all inspiration, all light, all love, all joy, the presence of pure spirit. What a joy it is to be in the silence of the heart and know that it is a thunder of silence speaking through us, reminding us with awareness of who we are and whose we are. The living images and likenesses of the living one. For all of this and more, I give thanks and allow it to be so. And so it is. This concludes our meditation service. And the rest of the service will unfold very shortly. Thank you for your attention and your intention.
We'll be right with you. Thank you for that gorgeous meditation, Akili. And we'll be back in a moment. We've got some setting up to do, so go grab a cup of tea and join us back at 10:30, please. Thank you. morning, Soul Center. We're so happy to have you with us this morning. And it's my great joy to welcome all of you beautiful, perfect emanations of God to our Sunday service. We just concluded our meditation with Achille Beckwith, which was just beautiful. And now we're starting our regular service. And I just want to mention that our Friday night Spiritual Life Hacks event was just outstanding. It was fast-paced, it was brilliant. Reverend Keith and Reverend Cheryl Ward answered tons of really, really good questions in a really lasered way, and we had all kinds of subjects covered. Jessica Susalik was our host, and she kept things moving and lively all night. So we're going to do another one the last Friday of April, and start gathering your questions. It's not too soon, and we'll have more to announce about that. But thank you all for showing up and participating. It was really fun. We got a lot of great feedback. And I just want to let you know, please, that we are here to support you in anything that you might need prayer support for. We have our prayer chaplains, a whole team of people, ready to absolutely do prayer work and support you in any issues in your life. Please don't be shy. We love doing that, and we've had some beautiful, beautiful demonstrations as a result of it. And we want to invite you to send those prayer requests in. And if you're interested, again, in a like-minded small group of people, our soul circles are always still accepting people. We'll get you to the right place if you just email info@soulcenteroc.com. We'll find the right circle for you. Please do not miss Reverend Keith's daily affirmative prayer call. He's just been spectacular these mornings. And even if you miss it, go back and watch it, because it is so uplifting. And it's neat to make new friends in there too. I'm just having the best time getting acquainted with some people that, from all over the world, really, that I haven't had a chance to meet in person. So it's a beautiful, beautiful group. As well as our Tuesday night A Course in Miracles study group with Achille Beckwith. That is about as good as it gets too. And please join us at 6 o'clock. And all this information is on our website, soulcenteroc.com. You can find links and times and that kind of thing. Or sign up for our newsletter. That's another good way to stay informed and find out what's happening. And it is my honor to invite up prayer chaplain Andrea LeClaire to really launch our service with our reading this morning.
Good morning. My name is Andrea LeClaire. Our reading this morning is from Reverend Jason Davion Mitchell, Agape's Intervisions, and it's entitled The Soaring Soul's Song. Spiritual beings having the human incarnation. This is the description that I embrace about us all as we take this journey on earth. I know that I am more than my body, that there is more to us than our physiology. I know that there is so much more to us, and yet at times our body temples can feel like cages, even prisons. Perhaps it is the that we accept from mass media marketing of what beauty is, or what makes someone a real man or a real woman. At times we can live the lie that we are not enough. It could be shame or abuse we encountered on our journey that tells us we cannot do or be something because of our height, our weight, our skin color, our hair texture, our ethnicity, our sexuality, or something else. The cage many reside in is made up of their own thoughts. Realizes this, the opportunity for transformation is at hand. You are perfect. You are beauty. You are love. You are creativity, sourced and resourced by the infinite. You are supported continually by the presence of the Almighty, all-loving, living presence that makes no mistakes and knows its own. There are no limitations to one who realizes the truth of their being. The only challenge you face is awakening to the illusion that somehow you've been caged in or had your wings clipped, preventing you from soaring. The lie that is revealed to you is that cages don't determine a soul's liberty. nor do physical conditions prevent one from soaring. Let us pray. So grateful for this lovely, lovely morning, this beautiful, beautiful time to commune together. So grateful for the high, high energy of the full moon weekend and the greening of spring, the greening, the blooming, the wondrous nature of spring. Grateful to be here right now. And grateful to remember that there is one source, one presence, one love, one divine intelligence that is powerful beyond measure, has always been and will always be, that is absolutely, absolutely always active and absolutely always loving. And knowing that wherever I am, wherever all of us are, we are completely one with this nature, in that we are created from our Creator. We are part of that same juicy, juicy, loving texture and love and energy. We too are beauty and health and perfect wellness and divine intelligence and power, power beyond measure. And knowing that for me, for you, for all of us here, so blessed that we're here today. We're blessed to be here in the presence of Master Practitioner, Master Teacher Akili Beckwith, who's here to share his word, the word that comes in through him, that he's been divinely prepared for this word, that the word speaks through him in luminosity and in so much brilliance and beauty. That through Akili, through his wide, wide, generous, open heart, through his infectious laughter, and through his deep, deep, deep inner mystical nature, we will hear the word exactly as we need to hear it. We'll hear it either in the live stream now, we'll hear it over the recording, and maybe we'll catch something in the future that we hear right now that doesn't hear it later, because we will all hear the word that we were meant to hear. So, so blessed to be here today, blessing this service beyond measure, knowing that seen and unseen forces are always, always, always at work for our highest, greatest good, that especially Alrighty. Now we're going to do our affirmations. We're going to do these as a call and response. I'll speak a line and then we'll repeat it all back together. I am filled to overflowing with the presence of the living God.
I am filled to overflowing with the presence of the living God.
Within me is the sacred. I live it and give it freely.
Within me is the sacred gift of divinity. I live it and give it freely.
The dynamic vibration of freedom shatters all limitations in my life.
The dynamic vibration of freedom shatters all limitations.
There's all limitations.
Love, peace, and possibilities break out everywhere I go.
Love, peace, and possibilities break out everywhere I go.
The essence of gratitude lifts me up, lights me up, and loves me up.
The
essence of gratitude
lifts me up, lights me up, and loves me up.
Life is good, and so it is. Amen.
Life is good, and so it is. Amen.
So we have awesome music for you coming right up with Sheila Nichols and Jesse Godoy. And I want to thank Andrea for her beautiful prayer and reading. That was awesome. And then after this, we'll be getting down with Akili.
Hi, everybody. So grateful and happy to be with all of you this morning. I'm excited to play 2 songs this morning. Jesse and I spent some time rehearsing last night. Hopefully it's going to pay off this morning. It's really fun, a really fun time hanging out together. And this first song is called Music of the Spheres. It's on my my last record. And it's a co-write. I'm very blessed that he allows me sometimes to take some of his words and combine them into the music. And so this is for Music of the Spheres. Unstable emptiness, far out.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Jesse. That was beautiful, beautiful. And it is my great joy to introduce as our guest speaker today, one of my favorite people on the planet, Keely Beckwith is stepping in, and just relax and enjoy because this is going to be really special.
Oh my goodness.
Come on now.
Don't do that. Hello. Good afternoon, good day, grand rising, all of those salutations that we greet each other with in love. Thank you, beloved Sheila Nichols and beloved Jesse, for their musical offering. Appropriately, I asked Sheila if she was going to sing Music of the Spheres first or second, and she sang it first, and I'm very happy because I get to use that. The Music of the Spheres, those inaudible music that's at such a high level of vibration that we can't hear it unless we're really listening, unless we're really meditating, really attuning ourselves to that music. That is the music that I know inspires Sheila in what she brings through. Last week I was speaking someplace and I mentioned that Miles Davis was inspired by the music of the spheres. Stravinsky inspired him also. So what am I saying? I'm saying that the music of the spheres is what we all hear inside of our being, in which we float upon. So, today, I want to give thanks first of all to Reverend Keith Horowitz, who is blowing them away right now at the Mother Church, the Agape Church. He's speaking. Keith rolls. Everyone's being uplifted and inspired simply because of his presence and what comes through him. So I'm thankful that I'm here to speak in his place today. So what is our theme of the month? Our theme of the month is March Gladness. Now I think that's a takeoff on March Madness, the NCAA basketball tournament, which is pretty cool because it's a clear, for me, it's a clear separation between what is offered us in this life, what we get to choose. We can choose March Madness, which is a bunch of ego garbage, a bunch of stuff made up that's not really true about us. Let's say the 7 deadly sins. Let's say anger and avarice and gluttony and all of that would be the madness. And then we have March Gladness, which is, I equate gladness with happiness. And true happiness, as I know and as I've taught before and as I've been taught, true happiness is oneness. Is when we really recognize where we come from and who we really are. Then we can be really happy. Anything else is a pseudo-happiness, as we know that wears off with time. But the happiness that I'm speaking about, and the monthly theme, the March Gladness, that's a whole different thing. Which leads directly into my topic for today, which is, I am as God created me. One of my master teachers has always taught that who we are has nothing to do with us, but who we say we are has everything to do with our experience. What does that mean? I am as God created me. That means the infinite, the pure creative intelligence that created everything and holds everything inside of its being, created me, you, and everyone we know. The essence of our being is what God is and what God created, and that will never change. As you know, if you're a metaphysician, and any metaphysical teaching always says many things, and what was I going to say right then? Oh my goodness. Doesn't matter. It's all one thing. Oh yes, that part of us that I'm describing in metaphysical teachings, everyone's laughing, and that's good because it's about the joy of God. Had that part of us that I'm describing, the God presence, the image and likeness of God, has never been hurt, can never be hurt, has never been harmed or endangered. I'm sure all of us have heard that if we've been in any metaphysical church. That's what I'm talking about. March Madness, I can get hurt, I live in fear, I have lack and limitation, I have grievances and concerns, anger all the time. That's madness. Gladness, never hurt, never harmed, never endangered. Why? Because I've identified myself with the creative presence and actually am allowing it access to me. See, over here, in the madness aspect of me, I'm not allowing God in. It may be breathing my body. It may be keeping everything in order, but I may not be aware of it. Because of my thinking, because of my identity, I'm over here away from God in my mind. And the Course in Miracles would say that's a sense of separation. Using the senses to be separate from good and God, instead of using the senses, as we did this morning, using the sense of meditation, using the body temple appropriately to guide us into the Spirit. Oh, that's not correct. I'm not guiding into the Spirit. Allowing Spirit to have its body temple to express through. That's a better way of putting it. So, March Madness, basketball, the game of life, not the real game of life. The game I made up in my sense of separation. March Gladness. Everything is in divine and perfect order from the beginning to the end. And in between that is my life experience of the God presence. So what do I have here? I have choice. I can choose this or that. I can apply spiritual principle and spiritual laws, or I cannot apply them and live life by default. Now, we all have lived life by default, I'm sure, at some point, because that default position brought us on the spiritual path. It actually was the sandpaper that rubbed us so briskly that we asked for something new. So, having lived a life of madness, we can now choose a life of gladness. Because as we know, we don't know the presence of anything except in the presence of its opposite. What does that mean? If I came from the infinite and came to what appears to be a limited time, I get to use what appears to be a limit to embrace my eternity. Instead of being time-bound, I can be timeless even while walking through time. I think that's called being in the world, but not of the world. Coming into the world of experience to reveal the presence, the joy, the intelligence, the creativity of God, but not being attached to the world. Living on earth, Mother Gaia, our home. Moving through Mother Gaia, accepting and receiving and enjoying all the benefits of a sentient being living on a planet that was made for us to prosper and thrive, as opposed to a sense of separation called the world, where I project everything out that I don't like in order to get rid of my own trauma and drama. Let me say that again. The earth plane is for us to learn and remember who we are. In the beginning, God, always God. In between, in time, we have an experience and we get to choose. As I said in the beginning, what am I choosing? Madness or gladness? I am as God created me. I believe it was Brother Moses who saw the burning bush, and he was given some instructions to go back and teach his people. And he asked fearfully, "Who do I say sent me?" And that burning bush said, I am that I am sent me, or the living one sent me. That is who we are. That is who sent us. And that is what we're here to learn. Moses laid down the law for us. That was his job, to show us the law, eye for an eye. All that stuff that cause and effect, so that we could, so that we could use or apply spiritual law and eventually liberate ourselves. How do we liberate ourselves? First and foremost, we identify with the truth of our being. I am as God created me. As you know, and as we know, anything we say after we say I am becomes our experience. We were gifted with the voice and the word to speak into existence our portion of reality without changing reality with a big R. God is. Everything is good, creative, flowing, thriving, abundant. Over here in my personal little universe, I get to say, I am. I am poor. I am whatever the case may be that is a limitation on the spirit. That's the key. I am. So when I say I am as God created me, let us all take a breath and just breathe that in. Because there could be a temptation to make that an that I don't really understand. It could be something I say when I'm scared. I'm still as God created me. If that is true, why am I scared? Because God is all that there is. And if you don't like that word God, whatever word you use for that creative essence that you didn't create, that you didn't make up, call it what you will. It is the creative essence of everything. No matter what culture, what race, what color you are, there is something that created you spiritually and out of its substance. Therefore, that image means thought. We are a divine and perfect thought in the cosmic mind of God. And as we know, and I said this earlier today, thoughts don't leave the mind of the thinker. Think about that for a second. Thoughts do not leave the mind of the thinker. So if I'm a thought in the mind of God, I'm still in the mind of God because I've never left the mind of God. I may have created, no, back up. I may have made up a pseudo universe that I'm in charge of. And if I look at my life, I can see it. Not so much, not so divine in some areas. That leads me to turn back. It leads me to turn the other cheek and listen to that still small voice maybe. Or signs that follow me as I'm sincerely searching for that true liberation within. Let me say that again. March Madness, sense of separation, sense of struggle, sense of lack. Mind you, I'm saying sense, never lack in the universe. There's a full moon out there right now reflecting the light of the sun. That's what we do. We are the sun. The Course in Miracles calls us sons of God. Radiant sons of God. S-U-N. The sunlight of God is what we really are. Anything that obscures that is March Madness. Anything that elevates that, that amplifies that consciousness is March Gladness. So we have two choices, as always. In many scriptures, it says, who will I serve today? Will I serve my fears, my egotistical yearnings, my body's urges, or will I listen to the still small voice with the Holy, that is the Holy Spirit, and that the higher self is speaking through, the God self speaking through the Holy Spirit in a language that I understand? Which one do I choose? And either one will give me an experience, information, and feedback as to where I may be standing in my in a sense of separation or under the aegis of my Creator. Meaning, am I going to let the Spirit just fall freshly on my awareness as much as I can and be inspired and be uplifted to move through the world as a beneficial presence, as we say at Agape? Or am I going to shrink myself and believe the stories I was told, either as a child or even as an adult. I get to choose and have the experience I want. And what's so cool about this to me, it doesn't mean that we're punished by our choices. It means we have consequences and experiences, which will lead us to change our mind about choices we've made so that we can be liberated and really experience the joy of the Spirit, not just the struggle and the survival of being on earth. Who wants to do that? I was talking with a beloved colleague of mine this morning, and they admitted they had a death wish. And I said, yeah, I used to have a death wish too. Of course. Who wants to live on a planet when they don't know the rules of the game? Who wants to play a game called life if we don't know how to play? But now we have the tools. We know there are laws and principles that we apply to our life which liberate us from our old ideas, our old concerns, our old belief systems, our old BS, both of those together, and have a life that we've been gifted with at creation. Spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, evidently saw fit to move upon itself and create creation because it wanted to have form. It wanted to express through form and thereby experience it. So, if that is so, and I believe and know it to be so, there can be no wrong in our experience because Spirit is the one having the experience. We, being the image and likeness of that, are its emissaries that actually have the experience for God, for the Creator. How about that? In the Course in Miracles, it says, give your gift back to God. What is that gift? Our consciousness, our heart. We didn't create ourselves. So why not, since we've had enough experience of being separate, why not give it back to the Creator and see what she has for us? Can you imagine the mind that has created planets? What it has for us as its image and likeness? Woo! I just got to feel that for a minute. Because we look out. When I was driving in this today with my beloved friend, she was remarking about the trees. We were riding through Beverly Hills. And all the trees, the abundance. And that's all I could think about when she said it was the abundance it was showing me. It's green, so it's the heart chakra, and it's abundant. So if I'm always looking that perspective, I'm constantly going to be elevated and lifted because of where my attention is. When we were meditating earlier, you probably heard me say, where's your attention? You'll hear many meditative teachers ask you where your attention is so that you come back to the truth of being. It's the same way in our ordinary life. What am I attending to? I can think about the trees and the abundance. That's abundant thinking. Or I can look at the lack that may be there. Once again, I have a choice to identify with myself, with a big S, the God self, and have that experience walking through the earth, but not being of the world. I differentiate earth and world. World, projected ideas and beliefs. Earth, our home. Make sense? Make sense over here?
Yes.
Okay. Capiche. Andrea said. Let me come back. March Madness, March Gladness. That's our theme, March Gladness. So, basically what I'm going to reiterate is we did not create ourselves. We've been wondrously created. Our temple was made without sound and without hands. We didn't do that. But we get to experience it and use this wonderful body temple to create and to bring the joy of God to the earth plane for all of our brothers and sisters. What I know for you. And when I know it for me and know it for you, everybody knows it. Because if it's true, it's everybody's truth. It's written on our heart. As I'm thinking now about reading in a particular book where they said you could find out the essence of life by studying a grain of sand. That's deep, isn't it? And I've sat and tried to do that and I didn't get it. I'm going to tell you the truth. Well, I don't get it. I get it intellectually. If Like, okay, yeah, the Creator created that, but how can I know all the truth? Then I got it. I got still enough and stopped trying to figure it out and realized that created the sand, that created all, is always streaming. Right now, we're streaming from OC Soul Center. God is always streaming its information, its wisdom, its light, its clarity, but we have to turn and listen. And now, or then, we can see in a grain of sand to a star, it's all the same thing. It's all expressing the beauty and the symphony of ideas from the divine mind. All of that is what we are. I am as God created me. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. It matters because of my mind makes it matter. My point is, what I am is not up to me. What I say I am is up to me. I can say I'm separate, I'm poor, I'm this, I'm that. Think of any limitation, I can claim it, and it will be so. Because I am whatever I say I am. My Creator God, all love, all power, all knowing, created me, you, us in its image and said, go forth and multiply, my son. There were laws in the earth plane that you need to apply so that you can reveal your glory. Don't worry, you'll still be what I created no matter what your experience has been. We all have had experiences that we would prefer not to. But when we step back into the holism of God and realize what God created, the wholeness that we are, these experiences are just stepping stones to our liberation. And if we see them that way, and we have the good sense to use spiritual principle and apply them to whatever appears to be concern, we will be liberated because we were created liberated. And we came into an experience unknowingly and knowingly. I say unknowingly because we sometimes don't remember. But trust me, the Spirit of the living God knows exactly what it's being and what it's doing. We didn't come here unknowingly. We just don't remember. But remembering ourselves through the teachings of the universe, through Soul Center OC, through Agape, through all of the modalities or the places where the light is shining through, we're remembering ourselves. And that is why we're here today, to remember. Am I choosing March Madness or March Gladness? What I say determines my experience because the Creator, God, love, intelligence is flowing through, and if I listen and jump in the river of divinity and flow with it, all of my true heart's desires will be fulfilled. Let me say that one more time. My true heart's desires. Desire meaning to sire, from the Father being the perfect pattern of divinity written on our hearts. If I turn there, identify with that, all is well. If I turn the other direction, I have a consequential experience that I'll have to be healed from. I'm only laughing because I can see all the things I've been healed from in this life by what I'm saying, by turning my awareness, by attending to, by allowing our eye to be single. All of that. So in wrapping this up, I am as God created me, meaning the infinite created itself in form. My spirit is that, clothed or projected in a body, having an experience, waking up. I am, you are, we are, in our essence, what God created. And we choose. Choose today, now, what you will serve. Your higher thoughts, your higher aspirations, or those that are a different frequency that eventually will lead you to choose your true nature. How good it is. I want to thank you for allowing me to share my articulations, and I'm just thankful to be a living luminary, meaning a conscious person allowing, letting, practicing, letting spirit have its way as my life. I trust you will do the same. Oh, okay. So that ends this portion of the message. And now we're going to move into the offertory stage, where we're going to invite you to share, to circulate by giving and receiving, because giving and receiving are the same, just as being and having are the same. Reminding us there's one life, it's always expressing itself, always giving it to itself, and we get to participate by giving. So I'm going to invite beloved Patricia up, and she's going to say a few words.
Thank you, Akili. Thank you. Always our great, great joy to be with Akili. And yes, thank you so much for the giving. We know this has been a little different year for you, but we do encourage the consistent tithing because it's good for you too. And we also have that text to give number, which is 669-342-2157. All you have to do is text the word give to that number, 669-342-2157. And you can give that way. Also on our website, we have a donate button, and there's always the snail mail address that's on our website as well. So thank you so much in advance. It allows us to keep the services going and to be supporting our community and all growing in spirit. So we really appreciate your gifts. And now we get to have back with us Sheila Nichols and Jessica Joy for some more amazing music. Thank you.
You guys, thanks so much for supporting Jessica and Patricia. These guys have been keeping this show on the road, and please donate, because this is a wonderful service. So yeah, let's keep that flow going, everybody. I'm so glad to do the songs in this order, Jessie, because this is the timeless qualities. So let's see. Let's just have a few timeless qualities. We got some bliss. We got some love. We got some. Give me some timeless qualities. Audience of none. Very few people. Very few people. We got love. We got peace. We got joy. We got bliss. Anybody want to throw me another timeless quality? Beauty. Intelligence. Great. Okay. So yes, passion. World of experience. Fall away. World of experience. Gonna let it fall away.
service to the one.
Yes.
Let us just turn within for a moment as we bless this wonderful offering, as we acknowledge the abundance, where it comes from and where it goes. We bless the gift and the giver, knowing that it prospers the gift. Did the giver? You know what? Doesn't matter what I say. God is in operation here. So the blessing that I'm giving is simply an acknowledgement that what you give always multiplies and returns. So give from your uttermost, and as we do that, we bless the gift and the giver, knowing that it prospers both sides of what appears to be two things. It's all one, in service to the one, blessing Soul Center OC, blessing beloved Patricia, Reverend Keith. Everyone involved with Soul Center is blessed by your giving because they give. Resting in this, we lovingly let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Keely. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Jesse. That was so fun. And now it is time for our peace song. So go grab the kiddos, get in a circle, and let's do our peace song, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace, peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin. With me.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful week. Thank you, Keely. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you,
Everyone.
Emma.